This is breaking news from KHQA. It's your news now.
Breaking news to report tonight. Fire crews are battling a large fire in downtown Canton, Missouri at the old Standard Machine Building. Multiple buildings are now on fire. KHQA's Ross Green is on the scene and has the latest details.
We are here in Canton, Missouri, where a fire broke out in the old Standard Machine Building shortly after 7:30 p.m. Right now, we are in between 4th and 5th Streets on Lewis Street. The address of the Standard Machine Building is 409 Lewis. As you can see behind me, that is this dark structure that is completely leveled. Very little fire left in that building, very little left of that standing. And now the fire has spread to the building just next to the Standard Machine Building. That is the old Janney Supply Store. It was filled with paint, but that was evacuated by several members of the community. They had a big effort to get all of the paint out of the building, so get any explosives out of there. What we know about the Standard Machine Building, owned by a man named Mark Bowen. He's owned that building for about 12 or 13 years. From what I've told, it's over 100 years old. At the time, there was nobody in either of these three buildings, either the Lewis Playhouse next to it, the Standard Machine, or Janney Supply. Nobody in the buildings. Fire did break out at about 7:30, and what we do know is that Mark Bowen owns the building. It is completely leveled as of right now, and as I mentioned, the flames, small flames in the ground floor of this building right now, and the supplies. What you're seeing behind you, the fire that is being battled right now, that is the old Janney Supply Store. Crews have been on scene since about 7:30, and at least 5 stations responding to this fire or series of fires. Right now I'm going to bring in Jim Crenshaw, who owns the Lewis Playhouse directly on the other side of the Standard Machine Building. Jim, I understand you've owned that building for about 12 or 13 years. What do you know about the Standard Machine Building?
The Standard Machine Building, of course, used to be a pickle sorter factory where they built pickle sorters and that, and Mark Bowen had purchased it from an individual that ran a place called Missouri Pizza. Mark Bowen has since stored like fishing supplies and things like that he had built sinkers and things of that nature in that building for the last probably 10 years.
And what do you know about the structure of this building? Mostly wood, over 100 years old, I understand?
Yes, of course, brick structure inside, mainly wood and things of that nature. You have to understand, though, in the pickle sorter business, when they built pickle sorters, they did a lot of painting with enamel and things of that nature, which, of course, was on the floors and things of that nature. Also, with the dry building with dry wood and stuff, it doesn't take long for something like that to go up in flames.
Sure. And I had heard a few people talking about the history of this building. This is one of Canton's older buildings, I understand.
Correct. Yeah. Years ago, I believe it used to be a carriage or wagon building that they actually built wagons and stuff like that in. And then Standard Machine came in and, of course, built some of the first pickle sorters here in this building.
All right, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. That's Jim Crenshaw. He owns the Lewis Playhouse right next to the Standard Machine Building. Again, Standard Machine was being used as a storage facility. There was nobody inside at the time of the blaze. Janney Supply, the old Janney Supply building, caught fire. That's what you're seeing now behind me. Plenty of paint and supplies in that building that was removed by several volunteers. At least 5 stations responding to the blaze. Now, you may have heard there was a fire up the street at about 8th Street a little bit before this one broke out in Canton, and I was told by spectators who talked with police on the scene that it is a suspected arson at this point. There were 3 teenagers that were seen running out of the building, and I was told that that is what the officials are suspecting at this point. And I did speak with one bystander who saw a male teenager being escorted into the Canton Police Department just about 20-30 minutes ago. So the early reports are there's some suspicious activity that may have led to this fire. The fire earlier in Canton, these certainly seem to be connected at this point based on what I've heard so far tonight. So Standard Machine Building, total loss at this point, and currently crews are battling the old Janney building with the fire in there. We're going to go ahead and sign off from Canton, Missouri. Reporting live, I'm Ross Green, KHQA News.
This is breaking news from KHQA. It's your news now.
Breaking news tonight, KHQA still is on the scene of multiple building fires in downtown Canton, Missouri. It started at the old Standard Machine Building. KHQA's Ross Green has been at the scene all evening. Ross?
We're live once again from Canton, Missouri, in between 4th and 5th Streets on Lewis, where a fire broke out in the Standard Machine Building around 7:30 p.m. tonight. Now, currently what you're looking at is the old Janney Supply Building. That has caught fire. As far as the Standard Machine Building goes, that building is a total loss. I'm told it is over 100 years old, owned by a man named Mark Bowen for about the last 12 or 13 years. I spoke with him earlier tonight. He was in disbelief, obviously, what was happening. So the old Standard Machine Building is a total loss. It was being used for storage, and there was nobody in the building or any of these three buildings at the time of the fire. There was no current business in the Standard Machine Building, but now the fire has spread to the old Janney Supply Building, which is what you're seeing right now. Parts of the building just collapsed before we went on the air, and volunteers were removing paint from that building, a lot of flammable material before or right as this fire broke out. So there's a lot less material that could go up in flames in that building as of now. So what you're seeing is the old Janney Supply Building. They're currently battling. That one looks like it's coming down too. It's a lot of fire damage to that one at this point. On the other side of that one is the newer Janney Supply Building, made of metal. And as far as I know, no fire has touched that building as of right now. The Lewis Playhouse right next to me right here took a little bit of fire damage, mostly smoke and water. I spoke with the owner, Jim Crenshaw, not long ago, and this building has not sustained much damage other than smoke and water. Now, what is big about this fire, there was an earlier fire down the street in Canton, Missouri, about a half hour to an hour before this one broke out, and then this one came about a half hour later, and I'm being told that there's chatter that arson is suspected among officials here. There are teenagers being questioned in this one, and I did see the Canton police lead a male teenager into the Canton police station. This was about 45 minutes ago, so there is suspicion of arson right now, and there is suspicion that this fire at the Standard Machine Building is related to the fire that was down the street at about 8th Street in Canton earlier tonight. So we're going to have plenty more updates on this one as the night progresses, but again, Standard Machine Building, a total loss, and currently the old Janney Supply Building, they're working on that one, but parts of it are collapsing as we speak, so it's looking like it's going to be, both of these buildings could be a total loss by night's end. But again, two fires may be linked here tonight, and teenagers are being questioned in what could be an arson according to officials. So we're going to keep you updated on this one, have more updates on KHQA's Facebook page and at KHQA on Twitter. Be sure to follow us there. Reporting live from Canton, Missouri, I'm Ross Green, KHQA News.